The state of the Madden mobile franchise today is disappointing to say the least. Because of greed and laziness, EA turned a beloved franchise into a copy and paste pile of slop. But among the utter dog shit that has been released in the past 6 years, there's one that stands out among the rest, and that is Madden Mobile 20. In the opinion of many, the Madden Mobile franchise was going downhill when 20 came out. After Madden Mobile 17, EA made major changes to the following games ranging from guard mechanics to gameplay. Madden Mobile 18 introduced training and for the first time in history allowed cards to break the 99 overall cap. Madden Mobile 19 completely changed the gameplay and graphics and introduced schemes, power, and their debut PvP mode, Overdrive. Unfortunately for EA, most of these new additions were not well received by the community. As a result, the game was bleeding players and lost its biggest content creator in MMG.
Now, honestly, this year, more than any other year, I've looked at this game and just thought, like, what am I looking at? Like, this is not the game I remember.
So when Madden Mobile 20 released on July 30th, 2019, the community was significantly smaller than in years past. So how did EA respond? The most surprising aspect of Madden Mobile 20 was how free-to-play friendly it was, and a major contributing factor to this were Madden Gems. Madden Gems were a new premium currency that could be earned through daily tasks, achievements, and some events. Although they could be used to refresh them and buy packs, there was a better use for them that we will get into a little later. Next was the Field Pass. It was only a matter of time before EA decided to add a Battle Pass to their game, but to their credit, it was well done. The Field Pass is available every season, and unlike most Battle Passes, which are split into a free-to-play and premium path, the Field Pass only featured one path, and the final reward was a Grandmaster card that would almost definitely be an upgrade to your squad. Of course, there was an option to buy the pass, but it only gave you instant completion and some extra rewards. Honestly, this is one of the best Battle Passes I've seen in a game. Good job, EA. Hopefully this will continue in future games. Promos this year existed under seasons, which lasted roughly a month and featured 2 to 3 promos within. For example, the January season was called Championship Run, and within it were the Playoffs, Pro Bowl, and Super Bowl promos. As an added bonus, if you had 8,000 of those Madden Gems I mentioned earlier, you could get yourself 2 more high overall cards through a Season Mode and Master Series Gauntlet. The promos of Madden Mobile 20 were really fun. You had your regulars with Most Fear, Thanksgiving, Ultimate Freeze, and Easter, as well as the newcomers like Madden Executive, All Decade, and the year-round NFL 100. Promos were very generous with the rewards. As long as you put in the time, it was easy to earn multiple cards. Speaking of cards, how were they? Madden Mobile at its core is a card collecting game, and how they look and function play massive roles in a player's enjoyment. This year, cards are split into 6 tiers: Bronze, Silver, Gold, Elite, Diamond, and Mythical. Unless you were a disgusting whale, your team by the end of the year was mostly Diamonds with a few Mythicals mixed in. Card evolution also returned in Madden Mobile 20, and was done way better than it was in 18. Different cards had different paths to evolution. The most common way was by feeding the card with another card at a certain overall threshold. You paid a fee that rose with every evolution. Each upgrade usually increased the overall in increments of 2 and could take more or less time to complete depending on the base overall. As for the look of the cards, the art was above average. Definitely better than anything Madden Mobile has put out recently. Some of my favorite designs were the Most Feared, Ultimate Freeze, and Campus Heroes. Now, unless your goal was to make as many coins as possible, the best thing about getting a new card was using it, and Madden Mobile 20 had a few places where you could. The best place to do so was Overdrive. Overdrive was a real-time PvP game mode introduced the previous year. You controlled your offense against your opponent's CPU defense and vice versa. Rather than using regular American football scoring systems, Overdrive had its own where points were earned based on the type of play, yards gained, and distance of touchdowns. I enjoyed Overdrive in Madden Mobile 19 and 20. In fact, I'd say Overdrive was my favorite game mode during its short-lived tenure. It was exactly what a game like Madden Mobile needed. Gameplay in Madden Mobile is nothing special to begin with. It takes a little skill to master. Overdrive gave you that fast-paced arcade-style gameplay that fit perfectly into Madden Mobile. The streets will never forget you, Overdrive. If Overdrive or head-to-head wasn't your style, your next best option was Seasons. Traditional Season Mode made its return in 20 after EA tried some BS with it in 19. They also added a franchise mode to make Seasons more immersive or something. It was shallow, but at least they were trying something new. The last thing I want to talk about was the community surrounding the game. As I mentioned earlier, the community had been smaller than in years past, but in a way it felt more tight-knit because of it. Smaller creators like Finn17 and the Goose TV did a phenomenal job covering the game and fostered tight-knit YouTube communities that frequently interacted with each other. In-game, leagues felt very active, and in my personal experience, my favorite memories of Madden Mobile 20 came from leagues. Those were good times. The worst part about a good thing is that you don't know how good it was until it's gone. With every new release of Madden Mobile, my appreciation and heartache for 20 grows. So many things about that game were done right, and it felt like one of the last Madden Mobiles EA put any kind of effort into. Was the game perfect? No, but it had substance and heart, something that can't be said about all the more recent releases. I've accepted that EA will never go back to something similar to Madden Mobile 20 or even anything earlier than it. So all we can do is look back on the good times.